Hi guys, I'm Erica Arroyo. I work with La Familia Rabina on social media. I also have a podcast called The Lounge Experience, and I do social media marketing from a female perspective. So you guys all probably know me on there as Erican. Rebecca?
I am Rebecca Harvey. I'm the co-owner of Smokers Abbey in Austin, Texas. I own it with my husband.
I'm Indiana Ortez from Nicaragua. I'm here from the manufacturing side.
Hi, I'm Shauna Williams. I work for Drew Estate Cigars. I work with wholesalers to help them market to their retailers. But I've been in the industry for 20 years in multiple facets. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, first off, I just want to say thank you guys for all coming. This is a big opportunity, not just for me, but for everyone else here, and for you all to take the time out for us and come and sit and hang with us. It means a lot. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as we're about to enjoy it as well. And how about we start off with Shauna?
Sure.
All right. Do you think it's critical to put a marketing emphasis on women when promoting cigars, being that they account for such a small demographic of cigar smokers as compared to men?
I would say absolutely. And the number one reason would be that the growing economic power of women is one of the most important trends of our time. I mean, women have purchasing power in the United States that ranges anywhere between $5 and $15 trillion and control over 60% of personal wealth. So, I mean, considering that women are often in control of the household income, it would be ideal if they have some sort of a positive connection, to your brand, even if they're not smokers themselves. I mean, women are influencers to their friends and to their family, and they're often in charge of social gatherings and purchasing gifts. So yes, to answer your question, absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree. How about we go with Rebecca? Let's start. I'm doing it a little different, so I want to make sure. So Rebecca, you're on social media a lot for Smokers Abbey. And what do you do on social media to let your customers know, like especially for women, if a new cigar is coming out, if you guys bring in a new cigar, and is there such thing as sizes of brands that can fit a woman's profile?
So as far as introducing a new cigar line, we have a format that is specifically set aside for releasing that brand, so that people know when that platform comes up, that is what it is. It is only used for releasing the cigar line, and then we try to highlight one size of each of the cigars that we're bringing in.
Right.
So of each of the different.
But what about the sizes? Do they really matter when a woman comes into so you have that side of the humidor. A woman walks in, does the size really matter? Like, do you go for a smaller ring gauge cigar, or do you kind of go off of her? I know you guys ask a lot of questions to your consumers.
So it's all about the comfortableness.
Right.
So you want the experience to be good, and so if you give a woman a cigar that makes her uncomfortable, then her smoking experience is going to be towards the negative end of it. And so I generally have them hold the cigar. Is it comfortable? Is it too big for your hand? Is it too small for your hand? And then we go from there, talking about what they're going to be doing while they're smoking, inside, outside. It's finding the experience that they're trying to get, and then finding what's going to make them the most comfortable while they're smoking.
Right.
So no, I don't look at a person. I'm not going to give somebody with tiny hands a Gordo cigar, because it's just not going to be a comfortable experience. It's just about feeling out the person and what they're looking for.
Asking questions, right?
Yeah, asking a ton of questions.
Yeah, because I know immediately when I walk into a cigar lounge, I'm approached and they think, okay, I don't know anything about smoking a cigar.
Right.
And they go straight for like a smaller ring gauge. They don't really ask as many questions as I would like them to ask, especially if somebody's coming in, woman or male, but if a woman comes in, you want to see where she's at. You want to be comfortable. And like when, for instance, like I went to a cigar lounge and, you know, a gentleman gave her too big of a ring gauge cigar and it made her feel really comfortable. Made her say, okay, people are looking at me and I don't feel comfortable. And
It
so she was
attracts
afraid to
attention.
smoke it.
Right.
So that's good. Awesome. All right, Indiana, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to take off my glasses to
You can take
be
off your
able to
glasses?
see anyone.
All right, you can
Maybe
go.
it's
You're
better
good. You look good. All right, so Indiana, let's talk about the manufacturing side. What do you basically do to be able to provide a female perspective as a strong woman behind a brand in its marketing?
Okay, I would like to start saying that the 60% of our manufacturing or craftsmanship, it's women, so we are so strong in that side. And the only thing that I have to, that I did and I'm keep doing, it's just like feel my passion, follow my intuition, and be concentrated in what I'm doing and which are my goals. So the thing here is just being as a woman, the only thing that we need is just take a decision and keep working hard because we have to commitment with our dreams to be able to rock and roll an industry that it's not a female dominated.
Right. And I think you're doing a really good job. I mean, you're expressing it not only straightforward like that, but on social media, you're sharing everything with the world.
Right.
And
she has a wonderful presence.
really does. And, you know, going through the process and showing what the women do behind the scene is so important because a lot of us want to see that,
Yeah.
men and women. So to be able to provide us like with a space and us, you know, go in, I can look at Indiana's page and know that today I'm going to see her wake up with a cup of coffee in her hand and she's rocking and rolling in the factory.
Right, and
So.
a lot of people from outside of our industry looking in wouldn't realize that it's primarily women that are manufacturing and creating these cigars.
Yeah, they are. And and we, you know, I'm appreciative, and that means a lot to not just me. I know a lot
Yeah.
of people out there. So we thank you. All right, Shauna,
Yes, ma'am.
ready? Okay, so I've been asked this question a lot, and I think you're gonna answer this really well. I know you are. So what advice would you give a woman who would like to pursue a career in the cigar business? I get it all the time.
Yeah. Okay, well, actually, first of all, what I would like to point out to business owners that one of the best ways to market to women is to employ women on your team, and not just one type of woman. Women from different backgrounds, and, you know, an array of women's voices will really help to bring to light, you know, gaps in the market.
Right.
But to answer your question, Erica, actually, I have a quote here.
Okay.
And this is from Terry Cooper. She is a chief officer at Deloitte Consulting. And she says, less wishbone and more backbone. So rather than keeping your head down and doing a good job and hoping that you get noticed, have the backbone to speak up.
Yes.
And ask for what you want and be specific in those asks. You know, don't be afraid to negotiate. You know your worth. You know, I implore women to do that. You know, and I would also advise to women to try to be one of the boys. I mean, being a woman is one of the things that truly, truly sets you apart. So a woman that is strong and educated in the products that she's selling in a male-dominated environment can truly, truly be a force.
Can. And there are so many women that I come across, and they've asked me this. I probably have gotten this question in the last month maybe 3 times. They're like, okay, I want to do social media, or I want to work in a smoke shop, or this and that. But you know, a lot of these shops, they want to hire a certain type, like instead of, hey, here's a woman that is willing to learn, that's open to learning, that has some education on cigar background,
Right.
and giving them a chance, and not to make them feel too intimidated, because, a lot of women do feel intimidated all the time when they're walking into a cigar lounge, but that's okay. But a lot of the guys in there do want them there. It's just a different vibe. It's pretty cool. So thank you guys.
Sure.
So yeah, all right. Let's go. Let's see. Okay, Rebecca, coming back to you.
Yes.
All right. So let's talk about the events. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's do, so whether you have female followers or like on social media or in person, I know you guys have like a strong female presence in your shop already. Now, if you're promoting an event, like let's see, where should I start? Because it's such a big question. Created a platform for women. All right. What difference do you see and do you believe that creating these events to build a stronger SOT community? Like, what do you do when you host an event? I know you guys promote the event months prior.
Yeah.
What do you do to just create like a stronger female presence there? Is it just the SOT event, or like if you have a brand that's coming in, do you guys do something specific?
The only event that we have that we do at the shop that's aimed just at women is our monthly ladies' night.
Okay.
That's the only one that I market directly to women. Everything else is equally.
Okay.
We're trying to attract everybody, but the ladies' night in general, and specifically, I will use a lady smoking a cigar, or I aim the picture and I aim it at ladies, but at the end of the day, what we're looking for is the community to come in.
Right.
So we're looking for the men in our shop to bring their wives, to have it, because our shop is all about the family aspect of it all. And so we want the women to come and join the community. And I think as far as creating the sister of the leaf kind of mentality, I'm not looking for it specifically in our shop. I'm looking for it across our community.
Right.
So if we can get them to go into other shops and interact with people, then we'll start seeing more activity.
Now, do you guys do anything specific in these SOT like events? Do you guys go over like, hey, we're gonna smoke this specific cigar tonight to kind of, get their palates going?
No.
So every other.
No, it's more of a bringing ladies together where they can feel comfortable to ask questions that they might not necessarily ask when they're there with the men.
Right.
Because the ladies will come in and we'll sit over to the side where we can all have a really good conversation, and they can ask questions and they can try new cigars and we can share, and it's getting to know each other.
And
That's really what those nights are for. It's building that community so that they can go out and get another lady, so that they have the confidence to go out and bring somebody else with them next time.
So you've built
That's
a
the
really
whole joy.
comfortable environment for them.
Right.
Yeah.
So the idea is that they come one time, they see that it's a relaxed environment, that they're comfortable, that they're not being judged, and when they come back the next month, they bring 1 or 2 people with them.
Right.
And so they have that friend that they are now able to help, and that's how we're growing the community.
No, I think it's awesome what you're doing, because I've heard from other people like, okay, that's a negative. Oh, you're just kind of excluding women. Actually, no, you're not, because one, they're going into a shop that is just, they're having an event just for women, and like for them to experience what it's like. And so they can go into the next shop, walk in, be able to ask the right questions, and learn from that group, like, hey, I want to go here. What do you think of going to this shop? Or I'm going to go on, vacation. I want to bring some cigars. What do you think? Just anywhere and every, like cutting, lighting, how to retrohale, all the ins and outs, and you can really talk about that within each other. And having you there as a shop owner, and I'm sure they feel even more comfortable, which is awesome. And I think it's important to have a space like that for both male and women. So, and I thank you for that.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's all about building confidence.
Sure.
That's really, at the end of the day, that's the only goal.
Yeah.
Is getting them confident enough that they can go out on their own and be able to speak knowledgeably and feel comfortable in any other shop that they go to.
Right.
Not necessarily just our shop.
No, that's awesome. All right, Shauna.
Yes, ma'am.
So since you've been working in the industry for a long time, do you believe women really want to be approached differently than men? And if not, as a woman, what advice would you give to retailers to make the environment in the establishments in which your products are provided more comfortable?
Well, the short answer is no. I mean, of course, women don't want to be approached any differently when they're looking at making a purchase. But at the same time, that doesn't mean you shouldn't treat them like ladies. But I would say that it's important to, make a connection and create an experience. And you as a retailer might feel that you're welcoming to all, but quite often your customers will put up a barrier, and it can be quite intimidating. Even to new male customers, it can be really intimidating. So for women, it could be even more so. So my advice would be, the minute a woman walks in the door, you head that off and make sure that she does feel welcome in your store. I mean, because after all, it's just as much about the experience as it is about the cigar that you're recommending to her.
Yeah.
Obviously, just don't pander to women. Today's woman is smart and savvy, so just don't profile. Make sure and ask her questions. Don't assume when she walks in the door that she is there shopping for her husband or her boyfriend, or that if she's looking to try cigars herself, that she's going to love a Cuba Cuba or a Blondie. But of course, at the same time, don't assume that men will not.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that, like, I have many friends, like, husband and wives, and the husband is smoking a Cuba Cuba, and the wife is,
Right.
smoking an LFD,
Yeah.
and they go to the desk, and then the Cuba Cuba is given to the woman, and they're like, no,
Yeah, I mean, just don't
swap
profile.
around.
It's really that simple.
Yeah.
I mean, ask questions before you make recommendations. How do you like your coffee?
I was about to ask,
Do
one of
you
the
like
questions.
brown spirits?
Right.
Do you like sweet or savory? That list can go on, and I think you guys get the point. Many of you are really, really good about it, but, just don't forget it. It's really easy to fall into that trap of profiling.
Yes.
Just kind of step back and make sure you find out what it is that they really enjoy. I would also say to keep in mind that women are a lot more educated about cigars than you might think. I mean, if she's interested in trying something new, more than likely she already did some research before she set foot in your store.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, going off of that too, we talked about this a couple weeks ago about when even anybody that walks in, you guys never profile. You guys ask the questions. So the list can go on, but I like what you guys do, is you guys do food. You guys ask about food, like what somebody likes to, the food and then the spirits, or just you guys stick to the food?
We do food and not necessarily spirits, but any drink. Coffee, tea, Topo Chico,
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper, Coke, whatever. You cannot assume. That's how you're going to be able to tell a palate a little bit easier. If they like Coke, and they're going for, they like that spiciness aspect of it. If they, it's tea, it's IPAs, it's, everything. And with the brewery right down the way,
Right.
You can't assume that everybody that's going to come in is going to be drinking alcohol, because that's just not the case. But you can get an idea of somebody's palate by what they are going to be drinking or the foods that they like, meat, beef, pork. I mean,
Right.
do they like the creaminess aspect? Do they like the spiciness? You can judge a lot by just asking all the questions.
Yeah, and it's not just, okay, women only like,
Right.
Okay, I don't like, I love spicy foods, but, my best friend, he's a guy, and
Right.
he doesn't like spicy foods.
Right.
So our palates are so different. You just have to, I like that. You just have to ask the questions.
And assumptions are the worst thing that you can do when somebody walks in. Assuming that you know them before you've asked them any questions is the
Right.
absolute worst thing, because you'll always be wrong. Every last time. Don't assume.
Yeah, I mean, the experiences, I've had, a lot of female friends that go into cigar lounges and, they're given cigars and their experience is horrible and they don't want to smoke cigars again. But until they're with somebody else that starts smoking a cigar, like, oh man, I need to get back into it. Like, I want to get back into it. You know what? Maybe I need to ask the proper questions to the ones I know and I'm comfortable with. They can go to those, events, for women events, and ask those questions and get a little bit more information and apply it the next time. Because and the guys too. I know a lot of guys that have bad experiences, and unfortunately they don't give it another chance until like a couple of years later. So
I like the questions. I like it when people ask me
I
questions.
love the questions.
It just helps. a
Oh
whole
yeah.
lot.
All right, Indiana, you're over there. You still got your glasses on.
Yeah.
All right. So, Indiana, you've built a very strong social media presence in which you continue to empower women, and you believe in showcasing not only the women, but also the people who create the brand in which you are involved. Now, how do you think we can give those women who work behind scene and do not like to have the spotlight on them a bit more credit for their efforts and creativity?
I think
Yes.
that we are almost ready to create a platform when we can share the story behind the scene, the story from the people who works every single day with us, the people who create the best cigar, the people who dedicate his entire life to this task. So I consider that it's time that we left the showcasing and let these people came to life, because the idea is creating a blog, and in this blog you can take photos, you can create a really solid story from our people. So we are in one of the most important time for women in this industry. So we have to fight together, we have to stay together, and we have to support each one. I think that that's going to be a great way to go, and I consider that every single time we want to think in the people behind the thing, the work behind the scene.
Right, because there's so many.
Yeah,
There's so many
there
women
are
behind the
so many.
scenes, right?
Surely
But
is.
you go like, you ask them about social media, they're like, social media, I don't really do that. That's not my thing. And it's not everybody's thing. But there are, and I think what TPE has done here has created that as well. It's just like, okay, here are these women that are behind the scenes. Some of them are behind the scenes. They're not up front and center. This is the opportunity to come out and be in the spotlight for a few moments, and then you can go back. But I think I would love to see a lot more, and I think what you're doing is motivating a lot of them.
It's empowering.
It is. It really is. And we talk about this all the time. So what you're doing is kind of guiding everybody, and what's awesome is it's not a secret. It's everybody is their own person. But if they look at what you're doing, they're at a different factory, they can apply what they know through social media as well.
Yeah, and
kind of use you as, motivation to create that space.
And don't be afraid to be yourself.
Right.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, sometimes, we go back and forth. Like, I would love to do I mean, we could switch all the, if you want, you can come on my side. I'll go to the factory, and I want to do that because it seems so much fun. I mean, you're with tobacco all day, you're blending all day, and you're showing this. So it is empowering.
It's an artistic outlet too. Yeah.
What's that?
It's artistic.
Yeah, it is. So we thank you. All right, let's go with, all right, Rebecca. This can go either way for both men and women. What do you do to keep your followers interested? Because on social media, again, you guys are heavy into your social media page, Smokers Abbey Austin. So what do you do? Do you do anything different for, if it's geared towards women? Not that it's the SOTL event, but what do you do to keep them interested? Both sides, men and women.
I think constantly highlighting, we just do highlighting the different cigars that we have in our humidor, highlighting the different experiences of which you can smoke a cigar. It's not necessarily always in a lounge. So we have a number of our people that are pretty skilled at taking pictures with their cigars. So we will use their pictures, and that helps engage them. They see their picture and they share it. And I try to keep it equally male and female. I try to not just stick to, I follow a bunch of different accounts, and so I try to stay on top of their social media because they're tagging us, and then when they tag us, it's keeping the story going, keeping the conversation going. And they like it when they see their picture.
Right.
That somebody has noticed them and, engaging them.
I think when I look on social media and any shop's social media, and I see a photo of the lounge, and you have women and men in there. It's like, okay, this is cool. This is something that I need to take. Like, I need to take a trip there. And I'm all over, and this is what I look on. I look on social media. I'm like, all right, will I feel comfortable? Like, even smoking for the past 10 years, it's like I still look for that. So if you're on social media and you're taking photos of your shop, and they're both men and women in there, it's awesome. It's a plus.
It creates a connection.
It does create a connection. It's like, okay, you know what? This is going to be cool. So if I feel that way, I'm sure a lot of other women would feel that way too.
Sure.
So. All right, so let's do, am I running out of time? No, I'm good. So let's do, let's say, because there's so many questions, you guys, I'm so sorry. All right, Shauna. What strategies would you recommend to business owners in the cigar industry in attracting new female customers?
Okay, wow.
I know we kind of talked a little bit
that's
about it.
okay. There's a lot that can be said about it, for sure. One thing I would say is participating in food, wine, and beer festivals can be a lot of fun, and you can engage a lot of new consumers that way, male and female. And you'll find that people at those festivals are often really open-minded and interested in trying new experiences and new things. But what I would also say is pick a cause. In the Ernst & Young Groundbreakers report, they uncovered that women reinvest 90% of their income into their families and communities, whereas men reinvest 30 to 40%. So this brings a compelling argument for business owners to consider, partnering with or championing a cause, so they can have some really appealing marketing that they can bring, towards the female demographic. Post about and share information about how you support your community and you're uplifting the world around you, and that gives sort of an emotional connection where your consumer feels that by supporting your business, they are also uplifting the community and world around them as well. Right. And I actually have a quote here that I really like too.
All right.
This is from Elaine Chao. She's the U.S. Transportation Secretary. She says, if you only focus on your own advancement, you'll run out of fuel quickly. But if you focus on something bigger than yourself, that power ultimately helps you endure.
I like that.
I know,
I like
it's
that.
good, right?
Yeah.
I like that a lot. No, I think it's really cool because I like when you bring, like, if you are, going into the community and the spirits, like if you're bringing in the liquor, and because I'm a huge fan of, it's Bren whiskey. It's a woman-owned, but she's, yeah, it's really good, and not just because she's a woman, but what she does within the community, and she's a part of some cigar events, so which is really cool. So she kind of brings the two together, and then that's creating a space where, all right, you know what, this event was really awesome. The next pairing event that this shop has, I'm going to go to because of that experience, which is really awesome. And not just women don't just drink fruity drinks either. We drink the bourbon, we drink the whiskeys, we drink the cognacs, all that stuff. So if you connect the two, I think it'll just it's awesome. It's really good.
And plenty of fellas like fruity cocktails.
Yes, martinis. I know a lot. I have good friends that drink martinis. All right. Let's see. So for all of you, what platform on social media works best for like your brand and company? Like, is it Instagram, Twitter, Facebook? Is it YouTube? Is it any of that? Like, what's your strongest platform?
Ours is Instagram.
Instagram.
By far.
Yeah. A lot of people say that.
Yeah.
What about you, India?
Well, me too. Instagram it's exactly what we need to express ourselves. It's just like you're going directly to your consumers, you speak loud, and the people hear you and watching you.
Especially the stories.
Yeah.
It allows you, and there's no like what Facebook does. I don't know if you experienced this too, Shauna, but you know what? I'll let you finish. I'm sorry.
Well, I'd like to preface by saying I myself am not as active as I should be on social media, but Drew Estate's team, and specifically our field sales team, does an amazing job. And I would say the Instagram is definitely the strongest, has best following. But, and I've read some research that women are stronger on Facebook. So it depends on what demographic it is that you're after.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because even, I would have thought Instagram.
I think Instagram covers the younger generation, for sure.
True. That too. But then Facebook does have like the live and...
Yeah.
Facebook Live's big.
And actually, Instagram, the people who stay on Instagram, they demand you maybe like a personal connection with you. I feel that Facebook, it's more like sales. It's not like trying to provide like inside experience.
Right.
That's my way that I compare Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, and also Facebook, it says, I've taken a couple seminars and webinars on Facebook, and it's like, with especially the tobacco product, it looks like your post is getting out there, but sometimes what you say and the words that you put in there, it'll say that your post gets out there, but it doesn't. So you just gotta, there's a specific word for it, and then Instagram doesn't have that. So you're getting a big reach on Instagram and both, Facebook, but so Twitter, no. Nothing with Twitter, right? I think Twitter.
Nothing on Twitter?
I don't know. Nothing. I mean,
It's a strong media, but I can say that it's not Drew Estate's strongest.
No. Yeah. Even with my personal, like when I'm trying to get my brand out there, Erican, and promoting this cigar lifestyle from a female perspective, and I tried all the avenues, and even with the lounge experience, the podcast, we don't really talk about we talk about everything, but our posts aren't always focused in on like tobacco products. So Twitter, we don't really get anything there. Facebook, it's somewhat a lot of messages through Facebook, but not really any engagement on there. But people still you still have to have it. It's like you still have to have Facebook, no matter what. But Instagram, that's where it's at for us.
Our Instagram following is bigger than our Facebook, but our conversations about cigars happen on Facebook. So they're not going to happen in our Instagram comments. If people are going to ask questions, more than likely we're going to get that interaction on our Facebook posts.
Well, you guys also have a group.
We do.
Right?
We have
so you
our own
created that
private
group and that
Correct.
space, so you guys have that that point where people can go in and join this group
Right.
and can talk within each other.
Yeah, our social media and our marketing plan has 3 stages. We have our locker members who have their own group, and they get their own stuff because they have the perks that come with their membership and whatever. But then we have the Down at the Abbey group that is our regular buying customers, people that have interacted with us a lot, and they go in, they have their own conversations, and then we have our regular social media that everybody can interact with. But it's kind of, it rolls downhill. So our locker members start talking about a cigar because they get to know about it really early.
Okay.
And then it goes to Down at the Abbey, so those people start talking about it. By the time it hits social media, we have 2 groups of people that have already been talking about the cigars. They've either already had them or they've already gotten excited about them, and they're helping us push the cigars out.
Right.
So.
Now, going off of what Shauna said, like, you have a wide range of like age, like the age group on Facebook within your group. Is there a wide range?
Yeah.
So you have men and women, and it's just all over.
Yeah.
And so do they reach out to you through there and ask you guys questions too? Does that?
Sometimes.
So sometimes.
Sometimes they do. They'll ask us about cigars that are coming in. Are we bringing certain cigars in? Have we had a certain brand? Have we had a certain cigar? We're completely small batch. And so they'll say, I had this one. Do you have a cigar that is similar? Or if I like this type? And those are the type of questions we typically get on
That's
Facebook
cool.
and
That's
social
awesome.
media.
That's great. Yeah, I think social media is definitely crucial, especially nowadays. I mean, but again, I think, it's Instagram, and then Facebook is where it's at. But Instagram for sure for us. But it's really cool to hear about Drew State. All right. We're good? Antoine, as far as, got it. All right. Good to go? All right. Well, I just want to say again, thank you all just for the opportunity and taking the time out. This means so much to me personally. I've been working with Tobacco Business Magazine for a couple years now, and we put out a couple magazine. We've done a couple things with, Sisters of the Leaf. We did an article in 2017 that did amazing. And I just want to say, these women up here, I have so much respect for, and they motivate me every day. And I don't get to see everybody in one space. So if you can make it to the Drew Estate Lounge, please do come by. I would love to say hello and meet you all. And thank you, and I look forward to sitting down and hearing your questions. And thank you ladies for coming up here. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, TPE 2020.